What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads, fathers, and male caregivers. It's sponsored by Doveman Plus Care, and being part of that movement, the team has reached out directly and indirectly. Let me get myself looking more proper here. I don't know. There we go. I think that's better. We've reached directly out to over 500,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. And as always, I'd like to say you are blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Drinking water before a show can sometimes have repercussions, but overall, water is good, by the way. And we are broadcasting live on the last Monday of June 2026, June 29th, a little bit after 9 a.m. Great to have you here. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, we value your time, which is the most important thing in the world. And a big day yesterday in Toronto, Canada won its first game in the knockout round of the World Cup. So people are very happy. A lot of people are very happy. It's a big goal reached by a lot of Canadian soccer fans, and Canadian soccer fans not only in Canada but around the world. So it's a happy place, and Toronto is a hot place. We have a projected streak of very hot, hazy, and humid weather coming up this week. So we will see what it comes through. I don't know. Maybe we're going to replicate what's going on in parts of Europe, like London, and a lot of England, a lot of France. A lot of stuff going on over there with the heat in the street. But we are blessed to have our friend, Jonathan Juiceman Shaw. How are you this morning, sir? Okay, he is having some tech challenges. We'll see okay. Jonathan, can you hear us?
I can hear you fine. How you doing?
I am blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for some problems.
A solution for somebody's problems.
And Blackalicious.
I love that.
Okay, you are a little frozen here. I don't know what's going. Your reception doesn't be 100. Okay, that seems. Yeah, it sounds like you're having some Wi-Fi issues.
Okay,
potentially
on your side here.
Yeah, you're frozen right now. Okay.
You want me to go to another spot? Spot?
Yeah, I think maybe better. So I'm gonna remove you from the stage. Okay, and you come. Let him come back. But yeah, so Juiceman will get his tech issues resolved, and we are gonna come back with him. But yeah, what was up over people's weekend? Myself, did a show on Saturday, did 2 shows yesterday, in between hung out with my parents. So it was a little bit of everything that went on last week, but the heat is here. The heat is here this week. This may be that 1 week in Toronto we get every summer that are just out of bounds. Very, very out of bounds, but we're looking forward to getting some good heat this week. And again, as I said, along with the soccer mayhem that's going on in Toronto and different parts of Canada, it's been good. It's been good. Ryan probably won't be with us today, but we will. We always hold it out. I did send him the information, but he's, especially in the summertime with his detailing nights, there are a lot of things going on. So yeah, and we have a great conversation topic this morning. Should I wait till after the break or should I tell you now? What should I do? Not certain. I think Jonathan is probably a little bit better set up now. Oh, he's traveling on to different parts of where he resides to set up. So we will give him a few more moments. But yeah, and what did we talk about last night? Oh, we talked about Black men and psychotherapy, and then we had a really good conversation with that. Jonathan, I think we can bring you up now because I can see that your reception is better. So hello, Juice, you're outside now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, better reception. How's the heat?
Hey, man. A product of the sun. I'm good. Time to get my melanin recharge.
There you go. And you say you like to get outdoors as much as possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good. How was your weekend?
Heavy.
Oh,
Very, very heavy.
uh-oh.
On Sunday, we talked on air about the missing Black boys and Black girls.
Yes.
Heavy. It was just a heavy topic.
Yes.
And I've had a very interesting week. We will talk off air on that.
You and I both, we will certainly talk offline about that. One of the things that was a ray of light yesterday, I had a chat with a gentleman who has been holding men's get-togethers weekly at his home for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes, for 20 years. I said, wow. And I just leaned into him and got just as much reflection and, how did you keep it going? This, that, and the other thing. And they originally called it the huddle, right? The men's huddle. And I thought, there we go. But yeah, it was a really great conversation and really enjoyed it. And I did you enjoy your soccer victory yesterday?
Yesterday was
what
so
are you
heavy.
in the mind to? And did you see the game?
I saw the game. And just because it went into extra time. So I was up for the whole game. I was watching it. I was cursing the referee. I was cursing it. Like, I mean, I was cursing it. And I had a long blink and I heard scores. I was like, huh? Did I actually drop asleep at extra time? I missed the goal. I missed it. As I said, yesterday was really heavy.
Yes.
So I think watching the game, and whatever, like my son was actually playing video games, and he was in the room with me, and I was watching the game, and he was yelling at the video game. I'm yelling at the TV, and
I would have loved the video camera on that. That would have been hilarious.
Eventually, I hugged him a little bit tighter yesterday, and normally one and if I can digress for like a minute,
take your time.
One of the answers to one of the questions was about children and what we do with children now, and everybody wants children to go outside and get some fresh air and whatever. But one father is regretting that decision of his son was playing video games, and just like a father would do, yo, go outside, go play basketball, go run up and down, go get some sun. And his son did that. And his son went missing. He was basically recruited. Son went missing, and son's gone.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And he regrets that decision of saying like something that you and I have heard. Every father, every mother has said, go get some sun, go outside, get off the video games, go do, it's summertime, go in, whatever, or wintertime, go play, road hockey, go play basketball, just go do something outside. He's regretting that decision for the rest of his life. Like that's so when my son was playing video games, I'm like, Dad, I want to go out, I wish the basketball net was outside. I'm like, maybe this year, it's okay.
It's interesting, and I don't know if it was on one of the shows you were doing with me, or I was doing with you, or on one of your shows. Someone said that when you let somebody off, watch them go into their home.
That was me.
And I had a relative with me yesterday when I went to visit my parents' place, and when I dropped them off, I didn't leave till I saw them go into their house. what you said to me struck me, because I'm just saying, you never know. And I think old school wise, especially if you're a guy and you're dropping off lady, whether it's a dating thing or not, you watch them go in,
Or you walk them to the door.
or you walk into the door.
Mhm.
And that stuck in my mind yesterday, that I didn't leave until I saw open the key, open the door, and go inside, and then I could leave.
Mhm. Hey, boss, how you doing? All right, boss.
Yeah, that really stuck in my mind yesterday. But
I'm going to
let's
tell you why.
transition. Pardon me?
I'm going to tell you why that is so important.
Go
Are you
ahead.
ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So back in college, I went to Humber, and Humber had a really big nursing program. So most nurses in Canada, let's call it that, in this part of Canada anyway, if they're in Ontario, you either go to George Brown or you go to Humber for nursing. That's generally where most nurses come from. So I was friends with a bunch of nursing students, and one of them was my friend Angelique. And Angelique went out on one cold night partying. And normally she would probably just jump in her car and go out and have a good night. And this night she decided, no. I'm just going to go out and enjoy myself. I'm going to be drinking, might be smoking a little bit. So she went and she took a cab. This is before the days of Uber. And in doing so, the cab dropped her off. She was wearing her pink boots that she was known for wearing pink. And she had these pink high heel boots, and she's walking up the stairs to her in her townhouse, and it seems like her boot heel broke, and she fell, and she hit her head on her car,
Oh.
and she basically froze to death outside.
Oh my gosh.
And the taxi did not wait for her. And yeah.
Mm.
And then years later, 2025, I took an Uber, and I went to the driver, and okay, again, I'm not going to make it about nationality. I'm going to make it about interpretation of language. I went to the driver and I said, please allow my son to go into the house. And he was like, yeah, okay. And because my car at that time wasn't working, and I basically was in the car, and this is another thing that we do, I was dropping him home, even if he was old enough. Last year he was what? At this time he was 12. Now he's 13. I could have sent him in the Uber and said, "Hey, just whatever," but no, I'm a father. I'm going to make sure, for this one reason. I wanted my son to go into the house. So I dropped him home. I said to the driver to wait. My son got out of the vehicle. My man's speeding down the road. I'm like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I asked you to wait." "Oh, sorry. And then my son went inside, and I literally put on Facebook, we need to be more proactive, and it should be something that Uber drivers and Lyft drivers do, taxi cab drivers do. Make sure that the person gets into the destination. I
Yeah,
know you want to pick up your next fare. I know it's about money and whatever, but that 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds can be somebody's life. You know what I
absolutely.
mean? And I did a PSA on it where I was reminding people, wait, none of this. Like, I've talked to women about it. I'm like, how is it you're going on dates and a guy's texting you and saying, come outside? Like, what type of man is that? Why are you even bothering with a man like that? I mean, seriously, what? Why? A man can't come to your door and greet you? Well, I don't want him to know where I live. He came to your door. You live at 15. How does he not know where you live? Well, I don't want him to come. Come on. And it got
all right.
I don't want to get angry.
You know what? Let's transition because we could go all in on that. We do have a conversation topic, but I think that's certainly a conversation topic for another episode. So let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll do some housekeeping. And we're going to finally talk about customer service. We're supposed to be talking about it for a few episodes. We're going to jam about it today. So we will be right back.
Watch Black Canada Talking live on Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern, where Dr. Vibe and Cesar de Mamusa give their takes and POVs on news stories from a Black Canadian perspective.
Check out Primetime Saturdays with Aisha and Lala.
We're live every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern.
With Aisha K. Staggers
and Laura Lala Key.
Where we try to make sense of the nonsense
going on in American politics and culture.
You don't want to miss it.
We'll see you on Saturday.
All right. Let's get the housekeeping done and let's get to finally customer service. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. So if you have subscribed on YouTube, thank you. If you haven't, what's preventing you? But the most important thing, watch, share it out, etc. Also, like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and Substack. Join our Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com or smash the link that you see on the screen to advertise your business product or service on any of the platforms I'm a part of. Email me again, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Can't forget Indie Soup TV. And what's Indie Soup TV? Well, if you watched Dr. Vibe on Saturday afternoon around 5 o'clock, he was hanging out with Dr. Tachi, who programs Indie Soup TV, Independent Content Creators Network. About 28,500 subscribers in 2.5 years on YouTube, which puts that channel in the top 4% of all subscribers, YouTube style. And then shape the morning vibe. Click on the following link to take 2 minutes to do the survey thing. So we've been supposed to talk about this topic a while back and be pushing. So it's finally here. So I want to chat about where are the humans in customer service these days? So Juiceman, you want to kick it off on this one?
On many different occasions, there's been a major push to AI. And again, AI is supposed to be a tool. I will never, since I use technology all the time, 24/7 in my daily life, I will never say that using technology is not good. I'm not going to say that AI is not good because I've used it extensively in the things that I do. However, I do believe when it comes to the aspects of customer service, you do need somebody on the other end of the phone. And I'll say it this way, and again, don't come for me. I don't care where you're from in the world. I don't care if you have an accent. I don't care your race, color, creed, whatever the case may be. A customer service individual should have 1, good diction, and 2, comprehension of what the material is, and be able to make judgment calls and split-second decisions based on what the subject matter is. They need to listen and not necessarily go off a script where they're reading stuff to you. And I find with AI is, and the first time I actually used an AI customer service rep was when I think it was either Uber Eats or Skip the Dishes, one of the two, came and dropped off some food. And this was the last time I actually used them. And they dropped it off to the wrong location. It was a freezing cold day. I wasn't feeling well. And in the notes, I said, please come to the apartment, not the main address. So where I live, there's a side entrance, and that's where I live, not the main building type of thing. And the person didn't read the notes, because if you look at the address, it's the first thing that comes up. And they dropped the food at the front door. And they've done it a couple of times, and I've complained every single time. This time I was like, look, I want a full refund, because literally I'm going to be like, I didn't get my food. And the food, arrives cold. So I'm like waiting for it, like, okay, and they're also supposed to hand me the food at the door. That's another thing. And they didn't do any of these things. So the review I gave was not good. But it took me about 45 minutes to an hour going through all the AI prompts and the AI chat just to get what I wanted, which should have been very simple. Hey, you delivered the food to the wrong thing. When you actually delivered it, the food was cold. And guess what? Some of the contents that I ordered were missing. Either keep the food, redo it, send me something else. It should have been a 5-minute conversation if there was a human at the other end. But unfortunately, there's this. Then I bought a computer, and trying to get the computer set up and having to authenticate that I am a human to a machine. Or switching over your phone. Right? Or trying to do any sort of arrangement with a company online. Okay, just go online. Just go online. Just go online. Okay. So I go online and I do certain things, but certain things you can't do. And then when you finally get a human being, that process takes like 10 seconds. But I noticed that a lot of companies, to save money, are getting rid of their back end support. I used to work at Bell, which is a telecom company right here in Canada. I was a customer service representative. I did business client care there for about a year and a half. I remember hearing the most racist things by individuals who were calling in because Bell had switched their customer service to save money to another country. Where the individuals, one, English was not their first language. English comprehension was not something that they dealt with. They worked off a script. And I couldn't believe how many people called me and said, do you speak English?
Yeah.
Is English your first language? And I would say, I mean, me being me, I was like, oh, did you push the French queue? Did you want the French queue? Right? And like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But the reality of it is, I'm finding more and more now with customer service. And again, I'm not making it a language issue. I'm making it a AI issue. This is not about somebody who is new to Canada having a job in a customer service position. I'm just looking for a human. I just want a human being. I can talk to somebody who I hope can, resolve all my issues. And some of the issues, I very rarely call in. I mean, I'm a tech guy. I very rarely do I ever, call into places. Like, I have a GoDaddy account sometimes, and I call GoDaddy and I say, hey, I go through the prompts and I say, where can I find this? And GoDaddy, I'm not getting paid by them, but I'll tell you, they have incredible back-end support, amazing back-end support. And there's one time I did something on my website and they fixed it, lickety split, bob a trick, they were done. And if I call Apple, number one, good luck trying to call Apple. Because you're there all day. It's better you just make an appointment with the genius person and just go into the store. Even if it's tomorrow, just if there's something wrong with
or maybe YouTube University.
That too. But if you can't go to YouTube University, make a thing at the Genius Bar, wait around, even just stay in the store and just like, I will say this. If you go to the store, 2 minutes, you're fixed. You're done. You're good. But man, if it's not, I think AI is great for information. If you're one of those people who just want to ask a bunch of questions, okay, go to the AI thing. But I need this. I need this from you. Right? I need you to put this piece of paper in this box. Oh, I can see why that would be a nuisance to you, Mr. Shaw. Let's go through the next 10 steps. Is the paper that you'd like to put in the basket white? Yes. Is the cylinder round? Yes. Okay, click here and we'll go see if I can do that for you. Next prompt. And you're spending a half an hour just to take a piece of paper and put in a thing. And I'm saying to myself, either create better AI bots or whatever you want to call it, but it's getting to the point now where it's just, AI is supposed to be a tool, not a crutch, not go do what you got to do. You know what I mean? There's many things in life that we have automated that is correct, but you still need a person supervising that part of automation, because if you don't, it can be wrong.
True. I want to shout out Ray McMillan, who's watching on Facebook. Always good to see you, Ray. Yeah, for me, I love the human element, the prompt stuff, or you'll call up and come say, what would you like to talk about? You say it verbally, and they take you to, it pushes it to this, is it no, that's, and you end up more time for it to understand, or they don't have the right next step based on what you've shared with it.
Well,
and I just end up pushing zero, waiting. Would you like to speak to a human being? Yes. I'll wait. I don't mind waiting that time. Rather speak to a human being than get prompts and confuse me. I like the human touch. Like yourself, I did many years of customer service, and it's just, and that the AI element, it's good to a point, but only to a point. And again, different levels for different peoples. Like, look at like elderly people. Good.
luck. Speaking of that, elderly people. Okay, so
our elders. Sorry, elders.
Okay. So our elders. So I have, and she gets mad when I say it. So my auntie is currently 19 years old. She's going to be 29 this year. You understand where I'm going, right? Okay? Because she doesn't want me to say her age. So she's going to be 29 this year, right? When I go by her house, right, she just got a phone with Wi-Fi, like just got a phone with Wi-Fi. And this is so because she was complaining that she wants to be able to use WhatsApp and look at her video from her 9th birthday. Again, you understand the math, right? Backwards, whatever. And she watches this video all the time. So one day she calls me up on the phone. She's like, Jonathan, I can't get the phone to show the video. It's not working. And I said, or I can't go on. She wanted to click on a link so that she could watch a funeral. And she couldn't figure out how to do it. So, okay. I was her tech support. And I spent the 20 minutes to be able to do whatever. Could you imagine if she'd have called and got an AI thing?
Would that phone have been in pieces eventually?
Oh, she would have dashed it. She would have dashed it. She lives on the 14th floor. She would have dashed that one time.
Mm.
And it's sad that and again, I understand that as technology increases, there's certain things in life we don't do anymore. Like there was a time where my grandfather was a person, he was a staff sergeant of police in Jamaica, and he rode a horse from Kingston all the way to country and back. That was his life. He rode horses. Policemen in Jamaica don't ride horses no more. That's not what they do. We do have mounted police here who do, yes, every now and again ride horses, but you know, I haven't seen a horse run down a car ever in my life. You know what I mean? And say pull over. There's no lights on the horse no more saying, hey, pull over. It doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't happen anymore. I understand technology happens. You know what I mean? I also understand that policemen don't use those, you know, the Caprice anymore, or the Crown Victoria. We don't use those cars anymore. You know, you don't even see them in the the Dodge cars anymore. They're you know, some of them are in Mustangs and they got kitted engines in them with the Corvette engines to pull you over. Why? Because technology in the car is better, right? But I don't see a time, I hope I don't anyway, where like a drone is pulling you over like that. You know what I mean? Or maybe it's gonna happen. Who knows?
True.
But the issue, the issue simply is that to save money, it's going to cost you money in the long run because people aren't stupid. And when enough people start complaining about something, companies have a way of reverting back to what was working. On the back end support, you're going to send me text because again, they want to send you text messages. They want to do away with paper. They want to do away with all these things. Okay, fine, until something happens. And then they're going to find that they're going to lose customers. Why? Because of this. You know, people say, oh, well, this industry is dead. The reason why this industry is dead is because you're not making exciting enough for people. You're losing the human element of doing what you're doing. You're trying to automate. And listen, I'm the first one to say this. It's 2026. I'm a DJ. I have 2 manual turntables. That means I take the needle, I put it on the record. Yes, we have a thing called phase that we can hit cue points and do different things and do whatever. I have a controller. I can use that. I can use it. I can show up at a dance with a USB stick, just a little small little USB stick, put it into the player. I can use an Ethernet cable, drag it over to the other side, and play. I can do all those things. But at the end of the day, I'm still the human driving the ship. I do not put it in auto and allow it to random. And even still, I'm still telling it what music I want it to play next. If if let's say I decide to go to the bathroom and want it to play. Using algorithms and all these different things, or even people want to use Chat GPT to write scripts and all these other sort of stuff. The human element and all these things is gone. And it's very easy to tell when a computer is doing the work for you, right? You have AI generated content that you have on your site that you use as commercials. As soon as I see it, I know it's AI. It works for you, but if you want to have the nuances of reality, AI will not do it for you. You can use it for certain scenes, but you can't use it as everything you're doing. Because immediately you can tell. I can hear AI music. It sounds like tin, right? Electronic music, yeah, you can use AI for that. You can do certain remixes with AI music. But again, it sounds very rock solid, very this. You can make you can create the illusion of having a 1970s sounding song. You can create the illusion of having a person sound like they're from the 1970s or 80s in a track, but how that track sounds sonically, you can't recreate that in AI. You cannot have the nuances of a human voice in AI. Because again,
oh wow.
Yeah.
So Ray is just sharing with us and saying, "Good morning, gentlemen. We are close to drones pulling us over. They issue tickets in Florida."
You want to know, what's funny with that? I remember I said something like this. I think you were even on the show when we were back at CHY, where I said, it's getting to the point now where one day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go into a grocery store and they're going to have frozen jerk chicken they're going to have jerk chicken in the freezers at my local grocery store. And they're probably going to call it Ode to Jamaica. And a friend called the station and said, Jonathan, I just picked up a thing of wings that said Essence of the Caribbean. Literally the same time. I was like, you know what? I'm not putting that in the universe no more. I'm not trying to do it. I'm not trying to do it.
Okay, so what I'm going to also throw in, got a poll for people. So here's a poll. Has customer service gotten better or worse for you? 1, better. 2,
3,
about the same. 3, or worse. So if you're watching this live, please put in 1, 2, or 3 in the comment section. Plus enter. We'd love to see what is going on with you. So that's a poll, and I'll put it on in the background, but would love to get your input in regards to that question. So let's go back to here. And also Ray has a question for both of us. Is the decline in customer service care related to companies being almost singly focused on profit more than customer retention and building long-term client relationships?
I would have to say profit. Retention doesn't mean anything anymore. Brand loyalty isn't what it used to be. I've generally been a person who's used the same type of stuff throughout my life, not because anything else. I'm just that guy. I like something. I don't, I go for the next one. But I'm finding now that if I've been a customer, like, and I remember a friend of mine who works in the bank in finance said something. He says there was a time when that one-to-one contact at a bank actually meant something. You could go into a bank and they would see you and be like, hey, Dr. Vibe, how are you doing? How the kids, how's this, da 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 da. Oh, you want to apply for a loan? Oh, you know what, you've been a good standing member here at the bank. I've seen you every day, you know, da 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 da. Here you go. Here's your loan, whatever. Now you walk into a bank, and if you don't pass a certain level on their meter system and have all these other little check boxes, and the answer is no. And the answer is always going to be no. You are a number. They don't care about you. They care about how much money, whatever. They, you know, as soon as you break a threshold, you know, with money in your bank, all of a sudden you're getting a phone call or a text message. Hey, how would you like to invest in whatever? You know, but for 20 years of your life, they could care less. They could care less. They never called you. What did the bank call you? They didn't care about you. Because you didn't, you know, you were literally like an episode of Star Trek, where until you passed warp drive, the Vulcans didn't even bother to look at your country. Or, you know, I mean, didn't even bother to even look at you. They just kept flying by all the time. They're like, oh, you're a pre-warp civilization? We don't need to talk to you. Once you became warped, all of a sudden they stopped and said, hey, how you doing? You know?
No, as always, you have great questions. I would agree with Jonathan. It's more based on profit more than customer retention and building long-term client relationships. It's funny, the company that hosts my website, and I've used them for years and years and years. I remember a number of years ago, I called their toll-free number, and then you would get routed to. So I think there's two elements here. Juiceman definitely has talked about the AI thing, but also the other thing about having the right type of humans doing customer care. Because yes, if you get a human being and they're not versed, that is a slippery slope, right? So they had flipped all their operations to the Philippines, and I was having a huge communication problem with that. And and it's funny because the first time I dealt with it was great, and then next time somehow I got routed to a U.S. or North American agent, and I said, you know, I'm having difficulty with communicating with your agents in the Philippines. Say, yeah, you're not the first one who's talked about that. So now I think they still have Philippine stuff, but I think there's two parts. It's definitely the AI stuff, but also getting competent. And again, everyone has their own definition of what competent service is. That's a whole other conversation piece. Ray says, pardon me, we have a dish called pepper pot in Guyana. It is as indigenous as you can get it. It is now available in the can. Uh-oh, juice man.
What? Listen.
But yeah, I think it's a two-part thing.
No, listen. My godfather, and I'll say his name because it's not his real name, but we call him he's Uncle Barry. Uncle Barry is from Georgetown, Guyana. Yes, my uncle is Guyanese. Pepper pot at Christmas time.
Another reason for Juiceman to be bigged up more by Ray C. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. My house is, as I've said to you, my family is the United Nations. We're Jamaican, but most people will marry somebody else from a different island because we're like, look, we have any St. Lucians in the family? Yeah, okay, we got to go St. Lucia. Go find a girl in St. Lucia, bring her back. I mean, type of thing. Trinidad, yeah, we're going to that. Barbados, yeah, you got to come too because we don't want no cussing. We're like this. We're Caribbean people. We're African people. We're part of the diaspora. But I can't listen. My godfather's almost 90, man. I can't call him up and say you can get pepper pot in a can. He mad? No, man. Uncle Barry's gonna lose his mind. Ray, please don't tell him, please. Please don't tell him.
All right. So Ray's got another comment here. Ray says the banking relationship still exists to some degree with credit unions. The difference, customers versus members. Outside of large cities, credit unions are making a comeback. And, you know, and just meant to yours, when I go, like I've only banked, I've had the same company I've banked at or bank all my life. They switched like the original location. It goes back to my high school days. And then they moved about a mile or so. It's still the same bank transit number. The only thing is, whenever I go in there, 85% of the time it's lineup city. So what I've done is I started going to another location where it's a little bit farther, but the time I spend going there and getting what I need done is always quicker than waiting in line. Now, there's the odd time I'll go into that original location and say, hey, how you doing? And sometimes I'll end up chatting with a teller for like 15, 20 minutes. We catch up, da-da-da-da. That's rare. But I'm very much to that human relationship. Like, again, extended bit, I've had the same doctor for 25 plus years. I've only had 3 mechanics all my life. So, and it's interesting. I remember back in grade 10, we had a course called Consumer Education. Remember the teacher's name, Mr. Patrick. And Mr. Patrick said, never forget, make sure when you get older in life, you have a good manager, a good plumber, and a good mechanic.
That is facts. Now, because of what I do for a living, I do radio commercials. I know a lot of different people who do different things. So I always say to my friends and people who I know business-wise, I know many real estate agents. I know many financial planners, brokers, whatever. It would be really hard for me to pick one photographer and say, hey, or this person in business. So there's many people who I deal with, but every now and again, you say to yourself, okay, you know what, I'm gonna, let's say for example, Ray, you call Ray on the phone, you say, hey Ray, I need you to do something, da 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 da, can you do it for me? Blam, boom, it's done. But imagine the day, and I don't want to pick on Ray, but let's say Bobby decides that they're going to automate or AI their phone system when you call in. I guarantee you I'm not doing business with them. I guarantee you I'm not. Because if I have to call and get screened by AI to talk to you, that's a problem. I understand you're busy. I understand, listen, if you want to automate how you do business, I have no problems with that. But if I need to talk to you about something, I don't care if I have to make a meeting and the meeting is 2 weeks from now. I'm good with that. But make sure when that meeting comes up 2 weeks from now, I'm talking to you. I don't mind waiting. You're on mute.
There's a gentleman from a few years ago, digital gentleman. He does very well in real estate down in the U.S. And I remember one of the first things he said that he gives out his phone number. He says, I want people to call me.
Yeah,
he said, Dr. Vibe, I love to give good phone.
You have to. Listen, I've been DJing now for God knows how long. And one of the things I tell people all the time when it comes to business is you want to be top of mind awareness. You want to have top of mind. I don't care if you ask Bob to do your event or Steve to do your event. That doesn't matter to me. But I want to still be in that conversation where, because sometimes I go to my friends and I'll say, hey, why are you going with this? I know you don't know them personally. How come you went with them? Oh, well, once you say, oh, well.
It's like the word but.
Don't do that to me. Because I'm here. Like I see you. You come to the parties I do. I see you with your cup with some fermented water in there. You know what I mean? You talk to me hours at dances for 10, 20, 30 years. You've done this, and you're gonna go ask him to go? Nah, we're not doing that. But
So Ray
but
has
I,
a comment here. I started my journey in Canada in retail where customer service meant everything. A few days ago, I walked into an airport restaurant. I was greeted with a scan the QR code, and we will be back to take your order. You gotta be joking. You gotta scan the like, oh, we will be back to take your order. You have to scan the code. Why couldn't they just come up to you and oh boy.
because what happens is printing printing menus cost money.
Oh, here, and
So
so he continues. He goes, order. Without hesitation, I turned around and left. There are certain experiences I simply refuse to indulge in. And then he also says, your family sounds like mine, Juice Man. We are cross all borders, LOL. But so Ray said, yeah, without hesitation, I turned around and left. There are certain experiences and I think that's a really good message from this today is there are certain experiences you got to have your line in the sand and say, no.
I
He
do.
says, how about automation with a bypass to get directly to me?
I love that. I love that. I love that because there's a language that I speak, and most individuals who do what I do speak it. It's called gear. I remember I sent a tech writer to a lady at a company, and she thought XLR stood for extra large.
Oh,
So I said,
no. No,
yeah. So I said to her, I said, look,
no.
I said, I can connect.
And you know what? And I can understand someone maybe thinking that, but continue.
So what it was I was doing an event, and I said to her, as long as I said, I can use RCA quarter inch, TRS tip ring sleeve, but my preferred connection to your system is if you have two XLR cables. And she's like, oh, you need extra large cables? Okay. Let me go see if these guys have extra large cables. Right. I speak a
imagine if that
language.
conversation was automated.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So these are little things. Or I've wanted to do site inspections. Every time I do an event, I always do a site inspection if I've never been to that hall, or if I haven't been to that hall in a couple of years, I always request to do a site inspection. And what happened was, very simply, is I got an automated response trying to just set up an opportunity to just look at the facility. Now,
Wow.
when I called the banquet hall, they thought I was a bride or a groom or somebody who's trying to book the space. I'm just trying to call and set up an appointment so I can come by and look at it. That's it. To the point where I literally had to like drive by, an hour and a half out of my way just to go down and see the location, because I could not find the correct AI prompt just to get a phone number. I'm looking on the internet, scouring the internet for the phone number of the person to call to make an appointment. And I said to them, hey, and you could tell that person didn't want to be bothered with dealing with this particular thing, because that's another thing too. A lot of companies are hiding behind AI. They're hiding behind it. They don't want to deal with the public. There's some people who do not want to deal with the public on any issue. So for me in my job, sales reps deal with the client directly on the front end. I call the client on the back end. Once I get the request to do a commercial, I will call the company and say, hey, I got your information from said sales rep. There's a lot of gravy on this page, but I need the meat. What do you mean, Mr. Shaw? Well, look, you tell me. I said, what do you think makes your business better than Joe's down the street who's doing the exact same thing that you do? Oh, we're open Sundays all day. Okay, great. I can use that in the commercial. That's meat. A dentist who is open 24 hours. Oh, that's great. Love that. You know what I mean? A dentist that's open 24 hours and takes emergencies.
Wow. Yeah.
That was one of the first commercials I did for a dentist and what's funny is, had I not called them to find that piece of information out, they'd be dead in the water. Sterling Dentistry.
Oh my goodness. I haven't heard that business in a long time.
That was one of the first dentists I ever did a commercial for.
Wow. 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 Yeah. Customer service. Now, also, would I add to that? So for example, if I'm eating at a restaurant and I get good customer service, if I get good service, and I've said this a few times, I'll make it a point not only to compliment the server, yes, tip, but also verbally, but I also make a point to say, hey, who's your manager on staff? To say, oh, so-and-so, can you get them? And I will compliment that service person in front of their manager.
That doesn't work. That doesn't work anymore.
No.
What they want you to do is
fill out a survey.
Fill out the survey. So the survey, but here's the joke. I may get that survey 3-4 days later, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And we never do it.
Yeah, that's interesting because I noticed that especially with the banks. The bank I deal with, after I deal with, like they'll tell you, oh, well, you'll get a survey, and doing that. And sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. I'd rather just do it human-wise, like right there and then.
Well, that's why at the end of every conversation, because they tell you, and this is again the human element of it. When somebody says, how was my service today? Right? You'll be getting a survey. I said, no. I said, look, I know your call's recorded. Listen, I believe that this person on the phone that I'm dealing with right now deserves a raise. Tell your manager they need a raise. If they need to call me, they can call me back and do the survey that way. Like I've left that mark on their call.
Yeah, the digital footprint. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like, or, hey, after this call, do you have the, like, don't piss me off by telling me I need to stay on the phone longer after you don't serve me, talking to your AI to tell you how well you did. That's like what Bill Gates used to do. I'm going to give you Windows XP. I'm going to send that out to you, right? And now you're going to tell me what's wrong with it so I can fix it. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with it. Get out of here with it. And now you want me to fix your AI too? Just give me a human. Let me train the human. If you wanted to have a focus group on how we can make customer service better, I don't think anybody would miss that day. If you had a day where like you could walk into Amazon and you could tell them how to make their customer service better, or how they could drop off packages better to your house, my gosh, they'd have a lineup to get into that meeting. Yeah, you can automate things. I'm not saying not to. I'm not saying not to use AI. But come on, guys. Just do better. As my mom used to say, sense is not common.
Yep. Yeah. But again, coming back to what we said earlier on, the whole area of cost, right? And I was going to say, when people are not, I would sense that when people don't like it, they'll complain about it. But again, that may be an assumption, but they do. And then how much do companies pay attention to the complaints, right?
But what I think I've noticed, and I've been seeing this, or this phrase more and more, quiet quitting, where people are just refusing to do certain things and they're quiet about it. Like, I'm looking at what's happening for the FIFA World Cup. And during the year, you see people with their Arsenal jersey on, or they're wearing something from Liverpool, or maybe they might have on their Reggae Boys jersey, whatever, da 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 da. But I didn't know there were that many soccer fans, whether it be casual or whatever. Like, I mean, I'm watching just a watch party, just these little watch parties, and whether it's a spectacle, maybe it's just people just hanging out and doing whatever the case may be. Listen, I know that this city turns over. Like, I mean, Pride was yesterday. Canada has the second largest Pride in the world, where a couple years ago we weren't even on the map with that. I mean, Caravana is still the number one or the largest festival in North America, like Carnival Parade in the world. And I'm just saying, we turn out, we come out, we do whatever. So when it comes to things that we don't do, I think there's a lot more people who have chosen to just be quiet about their experiences than be loud about them. Where they just decide, you know what? One of the reasons why profit is down in certain areas is because customer service was garbage. And that's one of those things that we don't talk about. When you think about going into some of the department stores that we went into, I mean, how many times have you walked into a department store and looked for somebody, and that person is trying to, you can't find them. And then when you find somebody, they look at you like, oh, it's on the shelf? Well, we don't have it.
I was going to call out some chains, but I don't know if I should call them out. Maybe I'll think about that. But let's go to some more people. Say Fitness IQ Camp says morning. And also, so just for everyone's information, myself and Juiceman today, we're talking about where are the humans in customer service these days. So please contribute your takes. And also, running a poll, has customer service gotten better or worse for you? Please vote 1, 2, or 3. 1 better, 2 about the same, 3 worse. Would love to get your takes on this. Also, comment from Mr. McMillan saying hiding, or they just haven't invested in adequate customer service training for staff, and the staff replacement becomes a business focus. A total different business model today.
Yeah, that's facts. I remember when Skydome opened, and I was hired as a security guard at the Skydome, having to go through months of customer service training on how to deal with people, because they believed people is actually who we're serving. They said, you are not there to deal with problems. You are there to create an experience for the guests.
Mm-hmm.
And that was their biggest push. They were like, how can I help you? How can I assist you? How can I do whatever? And I'll give you one thing that happened at Skydome. It was probably one of my proudest moments. And I didn't even know it was going to be one of my proudest moments. But there was a concert with Frank Sinatra, Liza Minnelli, and Sammy Davis Jr. And it was built for months. And they had they had 2 of them there. Sammy Davis Jr. at the time, unfortunately, I think he was dealing with throat cancer.
Yes.
Yeah. And he unfortunately could not be there. So it just became Liza Minnelli and Frank Sinatra. And I was on the field or on the ground doing the concert. And I remember they had a June bug problem, because it was either some sort of bugs, but you could see in the lights that there was some flies just flying around because they were mating. It was mating season for these things. And that was one of the things that people talked about after the concert. But I remember there was a lot of elderly people there who, after sitting so long in the concert, needed wheelchairs. So I was on the floor, and there were a whole bunch of people up on the 500 level. And we got a call to say, hey, guys, we need help up on the 500 level. Went up to the 500 level, and there was a bunch of people who were like waiting for the elevators to get down. And a bunch of elderly people were just standing like, hey, I need to sit down. Hey, I need to sit down. And I'm like, there's like 50 to 60 wheelchairs on the 100 level. So me and a bunch of other security guards, like, yo, guy, I called the guy and said, listen, hey, I got a solution. We got the wheelchairs, ran them up to the 500 level, and literally wheeled all the people down and kept going back up because and literally we're just taking the people.
That's serious customer service.
And whatever. The lady, there was one lady who was it was her grandmother and a bunch of people, like there were a bunch of ladies, a bunch of Italian ladies, and she said, I'm gonna go grab my car. Can you just wait here? Can you bring my mom down? I'm gonna go get my car. Can you just wait here? And I said, yeah, no problem. And I wheeled her around, and I got her to actually a loading bay, and got the car, got her out. Woman came back to the Sky Dome looking for me personally. I was like, and I can't remember what happened after or whatever, but she said, I have to thank you for that. That was a great experience. And my mom died shortly, like 2 days later.
Oh my goodness.
And you made her day. You gave her one of the great, like, she got to see Frank Sinatra before she died and whatever. And it wasn't about money. I think she wanted to tip me. I said, no. Like, no, it's not about that. But AI can't do that.
No.
AI can't do that. AI can't give you that experience. You know what I mean?
All right.
AI can't do any of that sort of stuff. And
so ATI Badley 9445. When you're voting, just put the number, because when you put the number and you're saying New York City Bronx, and we love that you're here from the Bronx, it's not going to register. So just put the number and enter. But appreciate
Big up Planet Rock. Big up Planet Rock.
There we go. Ray says, seriously, Juiceman, the entire world except the U.S. are in love with the beautiful game. He says, probably say, except the U.S. are in love with the beautiful game. And then he also says, great thought. I never write bad reviews, only good ones. My logic is businesses are struggling today, so I don't want to add to their demise. I know it's an illogical approach. What do you think of that?
It's not illogical. As I said, it's quiet quitting. You're basically just deciding that, hey, I'm not about that no more. As he said, he walked out. But those numbers are not, like, I was saying yesterday that there's a bunch of people who are on the internet complaining about certain things, but there's a whole bunch of people who the internet is not even their playground because they're happy doing what they're doing. They don't post. They may have a Facebook account because they want to go to Marketplace. So when we do collections of data, sometimes we hear the loud people, the people who are being loud about something. But there's a whole other subculture of people who are happy that we never hear from, that never get polled, never do whatever. You know what I mean? Like we hear about the problems every day, but we don't hear about what's actually going right. There's a lot of people who are in Toronto who go about their business every day, and hey, like, if minding your business was a person, that's them. You know, they just go about their life every day. They go about stuff all the time. Like, again, we were talking, not to change subjects, but we were talking at the beginning of the show about missing children and boys, or missing people. How many people hear about somebody going missing every day and their heads down? They just go about their business. They're not involved. There's people who don't watch the news, who will never go. They'll go on YouTube and go to the University of YouTube, but will never watch the show, but it affects them. They just look at it, pass it, whatever, because at that point in time in their life, what they're dealing with doesn't matter. The outside things don't matter. So until somebody needs customer service, there's people who never need it. There's people who've never one day in their life ever thought that I bought something. I'm that guy. I'll be the first one to say it. I'll give you an example. If I bought a couch and I saw a scratch in the back of the couch, I'm not taking that back. I'll be like, crap. Let me just, the back of the couch is going against the wall. Nobody's going to see it. That's me. And I know it sounds right. I just paid thousands of dollars for this couch. But I'm like, it's a couch. There's no scratch on the front. There's a little bitty scratch. Nobody's going to see that. I may call them up and whatever, right? I remember I bought a bed when I was married, and my wife got them to come and do some doctoring to the bed so they took out those scratches. Me, I never saw them. She did, but you know what I mean? She would take, she would take back. I remember we had a garbage can, and the garbage can lid broke. Like, let's say she bought it July 1st. June 29th, the lid broke. So she's had the garbage can for that long. She took that back one time, got another one, whatever. I'm not that guy. I don't have the time for that. I'm like, look, I got it. It lasted me for a year. I'm good. Let me just go get another one. Maybe a wrong way of thinking, but let me buy a CD at the flea market for $10 or $5. And I put that into my DVD thing or my CD player, and that thing starts to skip, guaranteed, I'm taking that back and like, boss, the CD don't work.
Well, everybody has different, that everyone have different levels of tolerance. With myself, like, I'm more a functional person than a looks person in a lot of areas.
That is me.
So, Ray says about you, sir, that's an amazing story, pure empathy. That is what is missing today. Those of us who were raised with grandmothers function differently, Juice Man.
Hey, man, listen, one of the great things I will say is you can tell when somebody is raised by elders or has elders around them. Like, my son has a different type of manners than some of his cousins do, because he grew up around elderly people and he's been around elderly people. Like, my kids always say, oh, you guys are well mannered, you're well behaved. Like, they could sit in church. They could sit in church and they don't make a sound. The only sound my kids used to make in church is, Daddy, I gotta go pee pee. That was it.
And I think that's, and there's another area of the customer service, how you're treated. Like, again, that's part of the human element. Like I said, there's the one thing, the AI thing, but then also how are we as customers treated? Now there's a whole other conversation about the customer's always right.
Okay. Let me break it down this way. So I had to take my son Joshua, 3 of 3. the remix to get a suit. So we got the suit online, got it measured up. He got fitted. The suit was good. But then the other experience was now buying a shirt, getting the pocket square, tie, all the other sort of stuff, whatever the case may be. And we went to Tip Top to get it done. And
Tip Top, man, I've been there forever.
exactly. And there was a young guy. Like normally I go into the store and there's an older gentleman who I normally deal with when it came to stuff. But he was busy. He's like, oh, this guy will help you. And this man was phenomenal. Took out the shirt, spent the time, whatever, gave a great review. Ended up actually following each other on Instagram. That's how far the conversation went. And I literally spent a car payment in the store. And I was like, man, hey, I don't have a full-time job right now. Maybe I shouldn't be buying this sort of stuff. But you know what? This is, again, it was an experience with my son that I will never, the first time experience of my son choosing his own shirt, ties, whatever. This is a father and son moment my son will have that he can tell his grandchildren about. You know what I mean? And will the money I spent really matter? Is a bill gonna matter in a year or two? Absolutely not. But the experience that this man gave us is priceless. And that's in some ways what we're paying for. Yeah, I could have bought the thing on Amazon and they could have thrown the box on the side of the door. And I look at the tie and whatever, but it was just the whole experience of doing it. And I think with the whole AI customer service aspect of things, or even just going into stores, when you get great customer service, you are a customer for life. Now, are there customers that come into the store and want something for nothing? Most definitely. But I think, again, those are those empty barrels that make the most noise. But for the most part, I mean, I worked in retail for a bit, and yeah, you get one of those people every now and again. But for the most part, nah. If you know what you're doing and you have a stock store and you care about what you're doing, that's another thing too. If you care about your job, then that part of it is great. I worked at Long and McQuaid, which is the Americans' version of Guitar Center. And believe it or not, Long and McQuaid actually does supply a lot of products to Guitar Center.
Well, interesting enough, I passed by their location in Scarborough yesterday, and Morningside, just north of the 401.
Yeah, they call that one the Steeles location. That is probably one of the newer stores, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. I worked at the Mississauga location, but yeah, one of the newer. I think that's either one of the newer stores. It definitely
is. It definitely is, because they used to have a location at Markham and Ellesmere.
That is, I think they still do.
I don't know if that's open anymore.
Did they close that one down? Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, but that other one, the other one that you mentioned, yeah, that was one. But one of the things with Long and McQuaid, and I'll say this to anybody, is if you go in the store and you see an item and it's the last one, they're like, okay, take this one. I'm going to do it up as a rental with no charge. And when your brand new one comes into stock, we'll just swap it out.
Got it.
There's no what they call demo models. They're like, nah, we're not. If you want you want one new in the box, okay, no problem. Here you go. If you're buying a used item, that's a little bit different. They'll say, well, okay, you can buy this one at $2,000, let's say, but if you want a new one in a box, it's $3,000. But and their customer service is phenomenal because they want you to keep coming back. They want you to keep coming back. That's why, you know, it is what it is. There are other music stores, there are little small ones, they are whatever, but they have meetings and they say, we can't let Best Buy beat us. We can't let, and I'm not trying to say one against the other, but when you have a client base that people just come into that store sometimes and just play instruments all day long.
Yep.
Like you'll see like Geddy Lee from Rush walk in the store and stay there all day. You got guys from Triumph come walk in the store and they're just chilling. You see guys from Megadeth walk in the store and they're, what do you think they get their instruments from when they're in Canada?
There you go. There you go. So I just checked, Juice. The only Scarborough location now is that one on Milner Avenue, and which is 401 and Morningside. That's our only Scarborough location now.
Nice.
So
you told me that, so now I don't go down to like Markham and Eglinton.
No, that's the only one now. Exactly.
Okay.
So Ray says that is so true. Most of my customer service experiences are great because I go to the same places to do business. I go where everybody knows my name. That simple. Nothing more, nothing less.
Sounds like a song from Cheers, but it's so true. Where everybody knows your name.
Where I know your name, yes. Yeah. And that's the same thing. Doctor, we're cool. My mechanic, we're cool. Everybody, because as I tell people, I can only speak for myself. I work hard for my money. So when I spend my money, I got to feel good. Not only the product I'm buying, but who I'm buying it from. Most cases. There are some disposable items that are very transactional. Some are transactional, but when it comes to that kind of stuff, I got to feel good about it. In the house, we mentioned earlier on, Dr. Tachi, good morning to you also.
Good morning. Good morning.
Ray says, Juice, we must be brothers. I function the same way. I recently bought a couch with a minor defect. I never bothered to call the company. It ain't that serious. LOL, the CD. Bro, we are so simple. Yeah, same thing.
I can't go.
You know, what we have different priorities. Like I'm the same way. Like, customer, but other things don't mess. Ray says also that is so true. The kids were raised with their grandfather in the home and many great aunts around. Agreed. They function on a whole different level. Patient, understanding, and calm.
I think little kids get their grandparents to live longer. Like if you really want, like when I think of the illnesses some of my elders had when they were in their early 60s, but lived to like 90, 104, 101. Like 90 in our family was everybody else's 40. Like my Aunt Dorothy is, as I said, 29. She's gonna be 29. Holding. She's gonna be 29 this Sunday actually. And she's already planning what she wants to do, you know, and this and this, whatever she wants to dance. She had 2 knee replacements in her 80s, and she wants to dance and party and whatever the case may be. She doesn't use a walker. Yeah. She lives by herself, and she, you know, like I when I go down to Scarborough again, I got to go bring her dirt because she has to go finish her plants and all the other sort of stuff. So yeah, it is what it is.
All right. Ray also says, I cut my teeth at Grand and Toy.
Wow.
And Eaton's, and the customer interactions were mostly amazing. Most were repeat customers. Wow.
I miss Grand and Toy. I miss Grand and Toy because back then I was into drafting. I was so into drafting. So I had to get my was a Stedler pencil with the ink, you know.
Oh my gosh, Stedler.
All that stuff, whatever. And then I worked at Eaton's for many years in the Eaton Center, 6th floor, first in the bakery, then the marine room. My mom used to work
Oh
in
my
the
gosh.
the
Maybe, you
marine.
know what, we may need to have a show, share some of your job experiences during your journey. Like, gosh,
I mean,
I
listen, I've worked a lot of places, man.
yeah, like some of, like I remember working at the Metropolitan Police Association, their
Oh
banquet
wow,
hall.
oh
That
wow,
was an experience.
wow.
And also working at a place, oh, it doesn't exist, Pete and Marty's.
Oh wow, really?
Across, when they opened one across from Metropolitan Toronto Police Headquarters.
Wow, wow. So
Pete and
you were at 52 Division then?
that was right across the street from their when the police headquarters. Yep.
Oh, no. Police
Oh
headquarters
no, that's not 52.
on,
That
on,
was just
on,
when
on
the
College
headquarters.
Street.
Pete
Yeah.
and Marty's. Oh my gosh, remember
I'm
that?
gonna bring back a place in Toronto that I used to love, and a lot of people don't know it. Okay, but two places. One, Mr. Grumps,
Oh wow.
and Ginsberg and Wong was my favorite
Yeah,
restaurant on earth.
McCall Street.
Yes, Ginsberg
Great
and Wong
place.
was my favorite restaurant on earth.
And how the one on McCall Street sort of had the streetcar
Yes,
that would
yes,
turn
yes,
turn.
yes.
Great place, Ginsberg and Wong. Great
Yeah,
food.
I wish it was still open. I wish it was still open.
Great food. Ginsberg and Wong. Wow. The man, that would, it'd be great to get a whole bunch of people together and just have that sort of conversation. All these. So what were some of the places that would be, and that would actually make a great little documentary.
Yeah. You know what place actually had great customer service for a place that was right at Yonge.
And Ginsberg and Wong did have good customer service too, on top of that.
Very, very true. But one place that actually used to have great customer service, and a lot of people don't remember it, but I'm going to bring back one place that you might remember. For jeans, Rockwell's on Young and Dundas. But there was a place before that called Boo Boo's.
Wow.
You remember that place?
And it's funny. I haven't been in that area of Yonge Street in years, because people know Dr. Vibe don't do downtown thing.
For
He
me,
don't do that. But it's actually, what's really crazy? If you ever have someone or a relative come into Toronto, or a friend who hasn't been here in like 25 years, and you take them just even along the lakefront, they'll go, what? Like, what? Like they're just looking at, they're on a whole different planet.
The one thing I try to say to my cousins, and they live in New York, and I said, guys, you need to come to Toronto. As much as we go to the States, and I mean, I love New York City. I listen, I will tell anybody, I love New York City. I love the Bronx. I love Manhattan, Staten Island. I like all the 5 boroughs. I mean, I love New York. I mean, I mean, if it wasn't the way it is right now with the current climate, I mean, I would love to be in New York City. Love New York. That being said, Toronto is like the 1A cousin. And if you're downtown Toronto, especially when it's like Caravana time or when something's happening in the city, I mean, we have like on any given day, like 5 festivals going on in Toronto at one time. I mean,
Toronto in the summertime is crazy.
It sucks for traffic. I'll be the first one to say that. But yeah, man.
Well, it's interesting. I love Montreal in the summer. Montreal in the summer is, it may
Montreal
not have,
Jazz
probably
Festival.
hasn't much enough, but they have, their transit system is more user friendly.
Yeah. But the Jazz Festival, man, you got if you've never been to the Jazz Festival, Montreal Jazz Festival.
Montreal Jazz Festival is, you need to, people, if you want a great festival, and where they just close down all downtown. I remember many years ago, I remember going to Ottawa in the summertime. They used to close downtown. Ottawa was beautiful, beautiful. Ray says, my kid's grandma celebrates 90 this year. true those grandkids kept her young and sharp. They laugh about the simple things in life.
Hey, call me to DJ that, man. Call me to DJ that, man. Come
And
on.
going, wow, take me back, Juice. Grand and Toy was one of the best experiences in Canada. So my customers were my best mentors. Wow. Yeah, Grand and Toy was the place, which I guess the closest thing that comes to that now is Staples.
Not even close. I wouldn't even know.
Well,
no. I mean, that's the only thing we got, but I mean, yeah, but,
yeah, that's
but
what I just
no.
but I didn't say it's not. It's totally. I remember always the Grand and trucks always delivering stuff to different companies and things like that. Yeah, Grand and Toy, the green Grand and Toy, the green.
I can't. I used to have, and again, I'm going to date myself, a Smith Krona electronic typewriter that I used to do.
Okay, family. So Jonathan and I, we chat lots offline. He's telling me the other day he's looking to get a hold of one of these typewriters. So why? What's the reason?
Just for the sake of having it, man. It's one of those period pieces that you just need to have. Like, my son said something to me the other day, and I thought, wow. He loves to take pictures of the sky and food. And I thought to myself, you've never touched a camera. You have one on your phone, but it's not the same. I think I might get him a camera. Just because it's something that this generation doesn't experience. This generation may have seen an album, but they've never really seen a 45. Can you imagine that people have never seen a cassette? No concept.
Let me ask you, and whoever's watching live here, what was the last really good customer service experience that you had? So to bring it back to top, we went off topic a little bit, but what's the last good customer experience you had, customer service experience that you had?
Well, for me, as I said, it was Tip Top with my son, and that was just maybe a couple weeks ago. But besides that,
actually, this isn't recent, but I won't name your company, but this is a retail store, one of the bigger ones out there, and I had. I'll probably give it away by saying I had an executive membership with this chain, and I was getting ready to renew it. So I went to one of their locations to get it renewed, and the person goes, "Why do you have this membership?" I said, "Well, I was told when I bought it, a year ago that I get benefits, this, that, and the other thing." The person said, "You don't use it enough to get the benefits." And I said, "Oh," and I said, and so what she said is, "You should get the lower price membership because you don't spend enough to get the benefits that this membership that you're paying more for offers." And I said, "Okay." So we did the process. She got me on the lower membership. So what I did, I said, "Where's your manager?" She goes, "It was right here." So let's go. So she brought me to her manager, said, "Look, this person did an incredible job." I didn't say the details because her manager may get mad saying, "You put it down to a lower membership." But I said, "I appreciate how she treated me and the value I got dealing with her." That doesn't happen often these days. Because you know that a lot of companies they want to upsell you. This person didn't downsold me, but upvalued me.
I think we got to look at a saying that I learned a long time ago in life, which is eat small, live long. A lot of times when it comes to the aspect of customer service, I've worked at certain companies where every interaction with the public, they would push that it's an opportunity to sell something. You always need to sell them something. You need to upsell. You need to upsell. You need to upsell. You need to upsell. And that whole Super Size Me documentary was very much a part of that
It's a good
kind
point.
of philosophy. And I always believe in an ad I saw many years ago with Rolex, and it was in the Forbes magazine. And it's probably one of the best ads I've ever seen. And it's a Rolex watch, and all it said underneath it was, "We'll be waiting for you." And what that said is, we know you want the watch. We know you can't afford it. But when you can, we're waiting for you. And I think we need to look at business like that. And I understand that people, I mean, this phone here, this is 17. And as soon as the next one comes out, we need to jump on that one and get that one, because that's kind of the way we've been raised as people, to always want something, and whatever the case may be. There's a lot of DJs out there that are still using their Apple Macintosh unibody 2011 and 2012 laptop to DJ. It's one of the, and I mean, most people, what, you're using a laptop that's like 15 years old? Like, can't you, whatever, but does it work? Yeah. Is it solid? Yeah. Are there some issues with it? Of course. But it still does what it's supposed to do. It's like a classic car. You're gonna, it's something that you want to use. And customer service wise, a lot of things that we have, if you notice, and this is something that I think is a dying art, is there was a time in our lives where it didn't matter what you owned, there was somebody who could fix it. There's somebody who could tell you about it. And that's all they did. There were people who would drive by your street and they would sharpen knives, or
Yes.
or I mean, you had a pair of shoes.
Yep.
There's a guy out in Scarborough, they had a big thing on him. I mean, who was a shoemaker, or a guy, or I guess they call them cobblers, who who fix, I mean, how many people do you know fix shoes? Like, I don't know where I would go. Like, one guy is down in Scarborough, and he fixes shoes. But we've lived in a culture where that back end support to get something fixed is non-existent anymore.
Let's throw it out, replace it.
Throw it out, replace it. And another gentleman said to me this many years ago, and he was saying it in regard to relationships. He said, we don't fix anything anymore. We replace parts, and we do that with people. So imagine what happens to a person like myself, who has a piece of technology, who is now calling said business and saying, hey, I would like a driver for this. I would like to be able to fix this. Oh, it's no longer supported. We no longer support this. Why? Because we want you to buy the new one. And for us to make this work, you would only have to use it on this platform. And this is where we are. So what you're saying is, I spent, and again, this is what we think in our minds, we spent $2,000 on this piece of technology, and now you're telling me my $2,000 that I spent for this is useless. That doesn't sit well with a lot of people.
No, it doesn't.
And that's exactly what happened with certain pieces of equipment that I have. I tried to transfer it over to my newer laptop, and my new laptop looked at it and said,
no can do.
Or you have a TV set and they stopped making certain connections to that old piece of device that you had. And now you call up the company and AI is telling you, we don't support what you did. Bringing it back to the conversation. So again, what do you do? What do you do?
Yeah, I don't know, the whole customer service thing. Like I said, there's so many different layers. Again, as we said, there's the AI thing, there's the chatbot thing. Like, I want to ask human questions. I don't want to ask in certain areas. I need the human response. I don't want something that is that's crafted generic. No, I want some based on my circumstances, my situation. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for.
I think the unfortunate thing is, in a lot of things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis, when you remove the humans, are you saying that as a customer, I'm not valuable enough to speak to?
Good question.
Because you took my money and I probably wasn't even dealing with a human at that time when you took my money. Because I bought something online, you shipped it to me, whatever the case may be, and now I'm trying to speak to somebody, whatever.
Relationships. The relationships piece.
And the one thing I will say in sales, especially in media, you don't buy the company. You don't buy anything else. You buy the rep. You know, I can't speak for houses. I definitely know cars. A lot of times you buy, you like when you go to, if you want to, the reason why you buy the car you buy sometimes is because the person who sold you on it, they made the car. They told you that you're getting a good car. So you bought that person. You bought that car. Now you might not see that person for another 5, 6, 7 years. But that person either sold you a good piece of car or a crap car.
Mm-hmm.
And
they sold you a dream or sold you a nightmare.
Yeah. And listen, I bought some cars. I mean, we all have. And you don't want to feel like you're getting hosed when you buy a car. That's the one item that you're like, man, your car shouldn't be seeing the like you're like, as much as you've only had X mechanics in your life or one mechanic in your life, your mechanic shouldn't know your daily story. Like there was a time when I was literally seeing my mechanic once a month.
No. Whenever I've had to buy a car, by the way, I've never bought a brand new car in my life, by the way.
Oh, really? Okay.
Nope. Because it's that the depreciation and all that. But whenever I'm ready, if I'm interested in a type of car, 2 things I do, and that's another person that you have a good, if you drive, you have to have a good you have to have a good insurance agent. Because for me, if I'm looking to buy a car, before I even proceed any further, if I'm even remotely interested in a type of car, get all the information. First of all, I go to my mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
And so there you got he's good customer. He'll tell you the good, bad, and ugly. Second of all, I call my insurance agent because I know that if I'm buying a car, whether it moves or not, I'm paying for it insurance wise.
Well, the great thing about this is my fiance is actually a insurance broker.
There you go.
And she does commercial insurance as well. So
there you go again.
So yeah, I listen, every time I leave my house, I say, hey, I'm going to do this party. She's like, make sure you got your personal liability insurance. Like she gives me the whole, I'm like, 100%.
And those are the people who are looking out for you. Those are people like I have good those are the people I can call, I can get them directly. Or if I leave them a message, they're calling me back in a reasonable time. I don't
Could you
want no
imagine?
AI dealing with the
Could you
insurance. I don't
imagine?
want no AI dealing with me well. No, I want to
No,
talk
but
to
could you
you.
imagine that though? Could you imagine you now have a claim and you got to go through AI? Could you imagine an insurance company
And well, it's
deciding?
probably already happening. It's
No,
probably
well,
already happening.
well, brokers are licensed. That's one of the good things. But could you imagine if you have to do a claim and you had to go through AI? Like I
No,
literally
I don't
tried to
want
get
that.
something done. Nah, man.
I am willing to pay a premium to get the human touch. No, and now let me add that the human, respectable, understanding touch. Human touch is one thing, but one that can relate to me, knows me, etc. So like I said, I have people I do with the bank, etc., etc. Like sometimes with some places I go, if it's a restaurant, I will only go when this person's serving. There's a place I go to in Scarborough all the time. I go there because I treat with respect, and it's like family when I go there. Customer service, solid. Yes, the food is good too, but the people are amazing. We have good conversations. Probably going to be hitting there about 3 times in the next one, taking people there to their place.
Listen, man, there's a place on the Danforth that I hadn't seen the owner since before the pandemic. And he's like, "No, guy, I'm here all the time. Just ask for me."
There you go.
But he was in the back. And I go, and I mean, we actually took a picture the last time we were there.
There you go.
And I'm just saying, man, like I literally leave my house, drive for an hour just to go get a gyro on the Danforth. That's my spot. I mean,
yeah, there are just some things spot, the people.
I ain't going.
Now the people aspect, like, and I'll finish off with this. I was having a electrical issue a few weeks. Actually, you knew about it. I told you about it. And
I gave you the number, didn't I? I sent you.
And yes, myself and that gentleman, and he said, "You know what? To travel all the way from Brampton down to where I live."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, so I got in touch with Roger Dundas.
Okay.
And Roger said, I got a guy I use all the time. He got the guy on the phone right then and there. And he said, you know what? Great timing. I just had an appointment they canceled. Drove. He was here for about 45 minutes. He charged and he didn't charge me that much. And I said, to be honest, what he charged me basically was a little bit more than his gas to get here.
I'm gonna give you one. You're gonna laugh at this one. So
that guy's my electrician now, by the way. He is a guy, because first of all, Roger recommended, and for him to, like I said, he said, you know what, you were on the right track. You just had to do a little more testing. He says, hey, next time if you have something like this, call me. Let's see if we can do it over FaceTime. I said, cool. Magic.
Well, here's a very, very interesting story. Imagine this actually happens. Imagine you meet a guy and he wants to get in your good books. So he hands you his card and he says, listen, anytime you ever have any heating or air conditioning issues, yo, call me. I got you, man. Call you. So had a young baby when Joshua was months old. The heat stopped working in the house.
Ouch.
The hot water tank, all that stuff. We had this.
Ouch.
Yeah. So the gas company said they're going to take forever and a day to come. We're like, we got the baby. Called the guy on the phone. Said, yeah, man, I'll be over. Hours to now, this man still hasn't reached my house. So I just got a phone call from another friend of mine. And I said, dude, I know you got heat and issues and stuff like that. We've talked about them. Who do you use? Same situation. Calls this guy on the phone. Guy's name is Andre. Andre was working all night long on a problem. Andre's in his bed. Andre goes, oh, yeah. Oh, Juice? Oh, the guy on the radio? Yeah, man. Okay, cool. So come. Man got up, came over to the house, fixed the problem in 15 minutes. Andre calls me up and he says, I wish I knew you personally at that time. Can you MC my wedding?
There you go.
Sure. 7 kids later, fixing my air conditioner, doing all this other sort of stuff and whatever. Andre and me are like bench and bati right now. For those who don't understand, very close. Pause. And I have done weddings for other members of his family. He's come over and fixed stuff. We're basically friends now. Like, I mean, I've had air conditioning issues where I live. I mean, again, you call the company up on the phone. He's like, Juice, soon come. He put a boiler in over at my fiance's place. And that level of customer service, you can't buy that. Like, I mean, and I tell people, like, I mean, in Toronto today, it's going to be 31 degrees. I don't know what that works out to be Fahrenheit, but
it's about almost 90 degrees.
Yeah. Okay. So if your air conditioner don't work,
you're in trouble.
That part.
And there'll be a lot of people's air conditioning don't work. So if you're calling up a company, enjoy the wait.
Yeah. And the guy that I waved to earlier this morning, he was actually coming to fix the dryer upstairs in somebody's place. But these are the things, like, you can't. I'm not. Can you imagine 90 degrees? And you got to go through AI?
All this week, too.
And you got to go through AI?
All this week. No, AI ain't going to help you there. No. As I said, you know, if you find someone that gives good customer service, hold on to them.
But no, hold on a second. Imagine you're an elder statesperson. And
there you go again.
And, you know, breathing is an issue. Heat is an issue. And they're telling you to go online when you're in your 90s and go deal with AI to go book an appointment for a service man to come out and fix your air conditioner. Do you now see the problems that you're having?
Not good.
But again,
not good.
I digress.
Well, I think that is it for today's session of the Morning Vibe. And again, thanks for everyone who caught the conversation live. It's appreciated, not taken for granted. So as we start winding it down, a few things. So as always, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. And also like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Substack. Join our Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe@drvibeshow.com. There's also a link there if you want to advertise your business product or service on the platform. Email me at dr.vibe@drvibeshow.com. There's the link to do the survey. If you want to get in touch with Jonathan, all things Jonathan O. Shaw is Jonathan Jonathan O. Shaw. I have to spell it out. There's always going to be somebody. You can also catch him on Sundays from 10 a.m. Eastern to 12 noon Eastern at flow98.7.com. Ryan, you can get a hold of him at Ryan Oneil Knight, and that's Knight with a K-N. Myself, you can find out more about me at toplink.cc/the drvibeshow.com. And you can watch replays of this epic conversation on the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Ryan Oneil Knight on YouTube and Afro Caribbean Business Network on YouTube. And what do we have here? Oh, wow. We got a whole pile of... There were a whole pile of comments here, Juice. We may have to stay on for a few minutes because I just saw a whole pile of comments that I haven't even read. Okay, so Well, let me take down the thank you. I didn't even, that's weird. Those new comments didn't even come up. That's well, that's a good thing. Got some more stuff to,
maybe there's an AI technical issue that we didn't.
Yeah, I didn't even see. Like usually it tells me. Okay, so Ray says Mr. Grumps at Woodbine Mall.
No, that was a JJ Muggs. JJ Muggs was
a great spot for a date night. There.
Mr. Grumps was at the atrium on the bay. That's where, right beside the Eaton Center, that was Mr. Grumps, and they had another one at Yonge and Eglinton. Those were.
And they also had Mr. Green Jeans in the Eaton Center.
That was upstairs, yes.
Okay, Ray says, do you guys remember Green Jeans? Yes, I say, yep, Green Jeans, yep. Ray says also, Sam the Record Man was next level too. They would bring in the vinyl if they have it on the shelf. And there was a gentleman there who was the general manager, a black gentleman named Ron Gaskin. Tall black gentleman, had grayish hair. My dad and him were very, very good friends for many, many years. I think born in Barbados, if I'm not mistaken. Ron Gaskin, remember that name. Also, Ray says, I'm currently in New York City. It is indeed an amazing experience. This city is next level, but Toronto is my all-time favorite city. Well, culture, the festivals. Yeah, man. Wow, we got some catching up to do. Montreal Jazz Festival is the best. There used to be an amazing reggae festival there too on the old port.
Yes.
Also here, Ray says, I have a typewriter. Got one as a birthday gift a few years ago. Didn't see you in it in my office. Didn't you see it in my? Yes, I did see it when I was in your office. I did. Ray also says, my dry cleaners in Jacksonville, Florida. When my shirts are dry and cleaned, the buttons break. I mentioned it to them once. Now they check all the buttons before I pick up the clean shirts.
I think he's talking about, is that
Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's where Ray is. He said, and actually I can relate a little bit to there. Well, I live in the eastern part of the GTA. It's still there. There's a mall called the Dixie Outlet Mall.
Yes.
And they used to have, what was the name of the clothing store there?
When you go to the Dixie Outlet Mall, let me know, and I'll meet you down there.
Yeah, that's memories. I can't remember the name of the store, but I remember going there one time, traveled across, and I was looking at all the stuff, and I was looking at these shirts, and they said, hey, you can try it on. I go, really? Like, open up these packages and try. And they said, yeah, that's no problem. And they were a great staff. And what they ended up doing was they said, what's your size? And what's your style? Yeah. And they said, what we'll do is when we see stuff that we think suits you and your preferences, we'll hold it aside. We'll call you in once a month. You can come in, try the stuff on and see if it's, and I said, that's next level. And this is going way back. And they were just really good for a store to do that. Now, these days, you have to be of a certain probably income level or status to have that done. But back then was that was one of the best experiences I've had of customer service ever. Great people and that was just based on one visit. Oh, we can put stuff aside. Oh, you travel from all the way? Hey, we understand that. We can put stuff aside for you. We'll give you a call every few weeks. Bang. Like even these days now, if that still exists, you could probably do it via video call. Right? C Nurse K says, good morning, all. Yes. She says, recently my online grocery order was suddenly canceled with no explanation. I called the customer service line and a robot responded, but gave me 4 scenarios as why I couldn't verify mine.
Oh, did you need to authenticate?
Wow. They canceled. What happened? Okay, so let's read on. It says, I had to call back again just to speak to a human being. The representative told me that it was because they didn't have many of the items in stock. So what? They had some of the items in stock. Why didn't they deliver it anyways? Terrible service. Yes. So my question then, Seniors K, are you still ordering from them? Dr. Tack says they want you to continue buying new things, which are often substandard because they're made to keep breaking down. Facts.
Oh, that's correct.
Facts. Senior's case says, and sorry everybody, we just got we're into storytelling so much. She goes, I placed the order at 10 a.m. and was notified of the cancellation at 4 p.m. Like, come on. That should have been done immediately. 4 p.m. Really? Ray says the audio industry is the first that made that shift. They moved from selling cars to financing cars. In order to do that, they started writing off vehicles that had minor accidents, pushing you toward, there we go, financing a new vehicle and keeping customers in the never-ending cycle of auto finance. Every car manufacturer today, probably every car manufacturer has a finance arm, which is perhaps the most popular. Yes. Yes. Now, here's another person said, if I saw my mechanic once a month, I would get a new mechanic. Clearly, that person isn't fixing things right.
Mind you, my car had 447,000.
Well, there's a whole different conversation there. Okay. And then also says, I'm the completely opposite. I'd rather talk to AI than deal with the attitude of some person on the phone. Interesting.
That's interesting, but I'd have to ask you, where are you shopping? Where you getting attitude? Because if I'm getting attitude, oh no, you ain't getting my money.
Yeah. Ray says, it's like checking in online when we travel. I still go to the counter and prefer to do that, along with printed boarding pass. Yes, I'm old school. And then go ahead.
I felt a way when I traveled. I wanted the stamp in my passport. And I know a lot of countries don't do that no more. But I wanted that stamp. Like that stamp says you were there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted that stamp. I wanted, my dream has always been to have a full passport of just places I've been and be able to say, look at all the places I've been. But now they just take your passport, put it under the reader, and you're gone about your business. I hate that.
Yeah. That, and I apologize for everybody. I don't know what happened. I made sure I kept up with all your messages. Yeah, I think that, these days, customer service, I like things. I want to feel it, right? There's something about me about wanting to feel that stuff that's going on. But cars are always interesting, and actually, a relative of mine just had a car accident, and they just gave her money for her car. They don't even do the repair stuff anymore.
Yeah,
here's what it's it's like done. Yeah, done. So I don't know. Customer service, but make sure if you're a regular family on here, make sure you share us good customer service stories, because we'd like to highlight these individuals. Especially if they're from the melanated community, we need to highlight these individuals because of course enough people complain about the not great. Let's elevate the good people. Let's elevate the ones who are doing fantastic stuff, because they're just good people. Like Juiceman, that gentleman who does all the repairs to your furnace, HVAC, that's an incredible individual.
Andre is amazing, man. Andre's amazing. One more. Here's what's something that's even more funny than that. So Andre calls for back-end support. Dennis Henry, may I help you? Oh yes, Dennis. I'm here in Toronto. Oh, you're in Toronto? Well, my nephew's in Toronto because I'm out here in Boston.
Oh my gosh.
What's your nephew's name? Jonathan. They call him Juiceman. Juiceman is your nephew? Andre. Juice. Yeah, what's going on? Say hi to your Uncle Dennis.
You know what's funny? Even though we got AI, it's a small world. Doesn't matter how digital's making it small, but it's human touch wise, it's a very small world.
What and I mean, like, yeah, because that's all my uncle does. He does high-end tech support for boilers. So he does all the boilers for like
Oh,
all these
wow.
different companies. So in his younger days, he would go out to different places and inspect the boilers. Well, he doesn't have to do that no more because, you know, technology is whatever.
Yep.
Just show me the boiler, okay, you know, and then he basically helps you fix it by you just showing him, like, opening it up and saying, okay, well, do this, whatever. So he doesn't even have to get on a plane no more.
There you
And
go.
gets paid the same amount of money. So
We're done. All right. So everyone, again, thank you for watching, whether live on the replay. It's appreciated, not taken for granted. Also, thank you, Juiceman, for showing and taking some time in the outdoors. I know you'll probably go back indoors now with all the heat. You've
I need to water my plants. My plant, like I'm looking at my tomato plant right now, and I'm like, man, you need some water.
So look
Actually,
at this.
It's right. I don't know if you can see it.
There we go. Nice. And Ray says, yes, the stamp is important. Some Caribbean nations still do it. Yes, I came and I saw. And Katrina, we're just finishing up now. So, but thanks for dropping by. If you're interested, watch the replay. But what we're going to do as always is this. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller, get stronger, block assumptions, aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider, love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. Try to do both and always make it better. Coming up on this Friday show, Dr. Tachi is going to be doing her monthly appearance, talking about an aspect of media tech and culture. I believe that's media tech and culture. So he's going to be talking some about media and tech. And then Monday, we are scheduled to have Donovan Ralph Martin come on from the Daily. Why am I forgetting? I'm forgetting the Daily. Can't remember his newspaper name. The Daily. Can't remember the name. Can't remember, but he's here. He goes, "You're late." No, you're on time because you caught some of this. I'm having a brain cramp now about Donovan Ralph Martin. This is gonna bug me. Gonna bug me. Oh my gosh, Dalvin of the Daily. You know what? I can't. I have to find it before we get off because I want to give him right. Donovan Ralph Martin. I can't remember the name of his. It's on like the Daily Scrum. Thank you. So he'll be coming up a week, but we'll have a lot of fun with him, and hopefully Juiceman will be hanging out with us, and that's it. So God bless, peace, y'all. Keep the faith, walk good, and if you're in eastern part of North America, and also Europe is getting hit heavy by the heat wave, big time. England and France, and the thing is, they don't believe in air conditioning there. Mistake. Yeah, most places in England and France do not have air conditioning, and they're getting the same heat that we are now. They've already got it for a little bit of time. Yes, and Katrina says yes. Most places in Europe, they don't believe in the air conditioning, so enjoy it. We'll see you. Keep the faith. Peace.